Stay tuned to the end of this video to hear my 3 main tips when it comes to tracking your macros, getting started as a beginner, and learning what is in your food so you can lose weight and reach your goals like a pro. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. You're not going to want to miss this video because it is going to talk about the fundamentals of nutrition, dieting, the type of diet that I've been maintaining for over 5 years now, the type of diet that has allowed me to no longer feel like a slave to food, a slave to the scale, not feel tied down to a meal plan, give me a lot more control over knowing what I'm eating, how much I'm eating, if I'm not progressing, where can I make those changes, where can I cut, where can I add, the type of diet that has allowed me to enjoy the food that I love within moderation and keep this physique all year round. And that is because I track my macros.
Who and who?
Macros are short for macronutrient, which is any of the 3 main components that make up your food. Those 3 main components being protein, carbs, and fats. Now, of course, your food is made up of a bunch of other things, including fiber, polyunsaturated fats, trans fats, sugars, anything else like that, but today we're just going to focus on the main 3 that I track, the main 3 that I teach my clients how to track, and yeah, we will go from there. Now that I'm where the magic happens, in the kitchen, I can start getting into depth behind what macros actually are, how they affect your body, and provide examples behind these proteins, carbs, and fats. First macro up so we can be all aboard the gains train is your proteins. Proteins are crucial for muscle building and bone health. Great at keeping you satiated for a lower amount of calories when compared to fats, which we will get to next. But proteins are worth 4 calories per gram, and they can be found in a variety of sources. I have shrimp here. I eat a lot of shrimp. I eat a lot of chicken, and I eat a lot of lean turkey. Once in a while I'll go into the red meats territory, but those tend to be a little bit higher in calories, and I'm currently at the end of my cut, so soon. You also have your eggs and your egg whites. As you can see, again, I am in a cutting phase, so I typically go for the egg whites because it's without the fat. Protein powders, protein bars. These I like to bake with. I do like to make protein waffles. If you are interested in learning what my protein waffle recipe is, throw a comment down below asking if you would like to see this, and I can do a future video on how I make my protein waffles. I don't often use protein powder. These are complete sources, the full amino acid chain. I can get into that at a later time. This isn't a complete source of protein. It's also totally processed. Also right behind here, I have a little extra. We got some garbanzo beans. Now, while beans are primarily carbs, for a plant, beans actually have a lot of protein. Now, garbanzos have 7 grams per serving, which is a lot compared to, other carb sources like cereal, which would be like 1, a type of fruit, which would be like 1 or 2. 7 is quite a lot for a plant source. So I do eat a lot of beans, but just keep in mind that they're primarily carbs. Next, we have our fat sources, which are the most calorically dense macronutrient compared to your proteins and your carbs, which are 4 calories per gram. Fats are 9 calories per gram. I believe that's where that whole myth, fat makes you fat, came about, because they are calorically dense, but that does not mean that you need to cut out fats or go on a low-fat diet. Fats are very, very necessary for hormone regulation, better hair, skin, and nails, keep you satiated because they are so much higher in calories, and you also need them to help transport vitamins and nutrients to the body. You won't be able to absorb all of the good vitamins and nutrients that you are getting from your fruits, from your vegetables, from your proteins if you don't have fats in your diet. Think of proteins and carbs as the package from UPS, and fats are the UPS truck. That's how you want to think of it. Some sources of fats include your more saturated fats, which I definitely don't have as much of in my diet. That includes butters, any type of oils like a vegetable oil or canola oil. You also have your cheeses. I love feta cheese. If you do love cheese and you do not want to cut it out of your diet, feta cheese is a very low fat cheese. You also have, as I was saying before, your oils. Now I have here avocado oil, but again, you can get coconut oil, olive oil, vegetable oil, canola oil. You also have your nuts and your seeds, your peanuts, your cashews, your chia seeds, and my personal favorite, flax seeds. Now, flax seeds are very high in omega-3 fatty acids. They definitely add a lot of richness and wholeness to your baked goods if you're doing breads, muffins, pancakes. I do like to put these in pancakes. These are great because they're also high in fiber, so healthy digestive system. My personal favorite macro, carbs. Now, carbs come in a lot of different forms. You have your faster digesting carbs, your simple sugars, which will be found in great fruit like strawberries and blueberries, pineapple, everything like that. All fruit is carbs. But believe it or not, even vegetables are carbs. People don't like to believe this for whatever reason. Vegetables are carbs, including your good old broccoli. You also have bread. So these are gonna be a little bit more processed, but I eat bread every day. And then this cereal right here, this is titties. This stuff is titties. If you dig the Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies, if you ate those as a kid, you gotta get onto this. All carbs are worth the same amount of calories. All carbs are worth 4 calories per gram. They're all digested the same way. They're very important for mood, for memory, and their primary use is for energy. So carbs are your body's first frontline source of energy. They're best before and after a workout just because they're going to be utilized by your body to get through the workout the best. You have your faster digesting carbs like your fruits, your simple sugars, and then your more complex carbs will be found in potatoes or oatmeal, typically things that are more fibrous, and it takes the body a longer time to break down. As you can see, each macronutrient has its place, its importance in your diet, which is why I really do not believe in cutting out a whole macronutrient just cold turkey. I believe in having a balance between your 3 macronutrients, your proteins, your carbs, and your fats, because each macronutrient really has its job and has its place in the body's system in order to function correctly. And let's be honest, I don't think I would ever be able to give up carbs. Now, I know you're all probably asking a bunch of different questions as you're watching this video. How do I figure out what my macros are? How do I track these macros? How do I read a food label? How do I go about portioning out all of my food? And first of all, macros are not one size fits all. What I follow is gonna be different than what you're gonna follow. Macros are individualized based on a lot of different factors. That's because of age, gender, activity level, what your goals are, what your body composition is, if you happen to be on any medications, if you have a thyroid problem, so on and so forth. So try to steer clear of using any of those online calculators. Those are definitely one size fits all calculators. And even the MyFitnessPal app that I use to keep track of all of my food, you don't want to use that to create your custom macros. I just use MyFitnessPal purely to keep track of what I'm eating. It's not telling me how much to eat, if that makes any sense. If you are interested in learning what your specific macronutrient ratio should be, then click the link in my bio, head over to my website, sashameetsfitness.com. I have a one-time macro consultation and macro setting where I will ask you a few questions, a few in-depth questions, definitely more than what you would get from an online calculator, and I will create your own custom macros along with a sample meal plan and a 12-page ebook on how to track. I have my nutritional coaching, which will go on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis, check-ins and all of that good stuff. And in that one, it's not a one-time. I will actually be watching you through the dieting process and making any changes necessary. But before you go, I have 3 tips that I have come up with throughout all of my years of tracking macros that I think will really, really help you get started on this journey. Tip number 1. Input your macros the night before. The night before, look through your app, type in whatever you're going to be eating the next day. Place your breakfast in there. You know, if you want like your oatmeal tomorrow morning instead of eggs and toast, throw that in there. Throw your lunch in there. Throw whatever dinner you have meal prepped. Set yourself up with a menu, and so you know that the next day you already are gonna hit your macros. You're already on the fast track. It's all there for you. All you gotta do is just open up your phone, look at the app, and it's gonna tell you, okay, you're eating this much. My second tip, and I've actually used this quite a bit, because again, I said I am a foodie. I love sweets. I love ending the night on a sweet note. And yes, I do eat cereal, I do eat ice cream, I do eat Oreos. People like think that I'm some mutant and I never have cravings or anything like that, and that could not be any further from the truth. The reason why I get away with it is because if I know that I have a craving, I throw that meal into the MyFitnessPal app first. For instance, say like you know that you're gonna go out to Chipotle with a friend or like some other type of restaurant with a friend. You want to throw that in first and then input everything else around it and create like the skeleton, if that really makes any sense. I don't really know if I'm making sense with this right now. Like say I really wanted to go to Rita's. Oof. If anybody is from New York or New Jersey, I lived in Georgia for 4 years and they did not have Rita's frozen custard down there, and I was a sad person. But if you're from the Northeast, you know what's up. Rita's frozen custard, if you get like the ice, the Italian ice, and then the custard, and then like the layers, just, now I really want to go. So now that I have this craving, look up the nutritional facts online first, because Rita's a chain. Throw in what I wanted from Rita's. I would throw it into MyFitnessPal, and I would get, okay, this is the amount of carbs, the proteins, and the fat that this meal is going to take up. What is remaining in my budget? Look at your food allowance as a budget and fill it up with whatever else you want. So I have my custard in there that I want to get, and so now I have X amount of calories left to play with. And so this is where I'm going to finish the rest of the skeleton. This is where I'm going to put in my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner, and it's all going to revolve around what is remaining after I have that frozen custard from Rita's, which I may freaking go to Rita's tomorrow because now I'm like really wanting that right now. And my last tip, after I totally went on that massive tangent, is be really consistent with your weighing methods. You're definitely going to become best friends with your food scale. For instance, if you were doing meat, you want to weigh meat raw, because after you cook it, it loses moisture and then it can just get a little bit tricky. So I would really recommend weighing your meat first and then dividing it up at the end, you know, depending on how many servings you have. A 4-ounce portion of chicken loses about 1 ounce of water after it is cooked. So that would go down to 3 ounces. So 4 ounces raw, 3 ounces cooked. Things like rices, orzos, I don't really know, pasta? Yeah, pasta, I don't eat that much pasta. Food like that, you're going to see on the nutrition facts label that it's going to say the portion size and then it's going to say uncooked or raw. You want to weigh out your pastas, your rices, before you cook it. Say I'm gonna cook 4 servings of pasta. I'm gonna weigh out 4 servings uncooked, cook it, then weigh it again when it is already cooked and divide that number by 4, because it's 4 servings. So to reiterate those 3 tips: 1, input your macros the night before. 2, if you have a craving or if you have plans to go out to eat with a friend, or you just want to go somewhere and pick up something special, throw that into your full day of eating first, and then use the rest of the calories that you have as a budget, as your allowance for the rest of the day. 3, just be consistent with your weighing methods, with your tracking methods. Weigh meat raw, weigh pasta uncooked, and if you want, use USDA when in doubt. So to anybody that is just getting started on their macro journey, I wish you the best of luck. I hope this video was a lot of help. If you are interested in coaching one-on-one with me, click the link in my bio, send me an inquiry, comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.